Hello, this is teddygaming, and welcome back to another special video, because today's one we're going to be breaking down the TMNT, the Armageddon Game-The Alliance, issue number 2. So yeah, this issue is going to be focusing more on Casey, and I think that could potentially be a good thing if this character is actually used a lot in the actual Armageddon games. If he's not, then, you know, it's a bit pointless. And just going off some other stuff from the previous issues which we've broken down, it's all been like a bit of a mixed feeling with this whole Armageddon game, where some things I'm really looking forward to, but at the same time spoilers and other stuff that sort of make me really question a lot of stuff. However, this issue could potentially change things. I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, I feel like we should probably start things off with actually reading the description for this one. Casey Jones had had a tough life. Mum dead from cancer when he was just a teen, father an abusive drunken wreck, his best friends a bunch of mutant Ninja Turtles embroidered in centuries-old war clan. Yeah, it's been a rough ride, and along the way Casey's learned one important lesson: monsters come in all shapes and sizes, and they must be stopped. Now when the mechanical Rat King's latest gambit, the Armageddon Games, threatens those closest to his heart in their own home, Casey Jones dons his hockey mask and prepares for his most dangerous battle yet. But that's okay, he's not afraid of monsters. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting description. There's not exactly too much to really break down there really, in terms of what we could potentially be getting, just because it was just more or less the same that Casey Jones is more or less describing his whole story arc in the TMNT RW series anyway. I mean, from the mum dying from cancer to Han being an abusive drunken wreck, and the Ninja Turtles. I know that they probably skip on a few parts where they're saying about his relationship with April, Jenica, Han dying, becoming mutant or Mission. There's like so much which they did leave out, and probably for good reason too. Now, when they do mention that Casey's going to have to don his mask to go up against monsters, and he sees monsters in all shapes and sizes, this does really open up the question of what type of monster will he be fighting. Now, I do feel like there's a few answers you could potentially give here, and I don't think this one is going to be too much of a big deal in terms of this whole issue, and probably going to be more of a self-centered story, but could be I feel like this one could be a really good and heartwarming issue, just depending how they go about it, but either way I'm still looking forward to it. Now this one, I do feel like for options in terms of who Casey could be fighting in terms of these so-called monsters, I do feel like there's only two type of options really. I mean, maybe three, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there's probably three actually. Okay, so the first option, and it's a little bit of a obscure one, sort of not really, but it's just the mutants in Mutant Town. We do know that in the upcoming issues, I think it's 134, maybe 135, I think it's Jenica will have to settle down Mutant Town because they don't really believe in the turtles anymore for protection, and this could potentially lead open to Casey helping stopping mutants from causing attacks on the city. But then again, with that being said, you could also have Casey taking on the Utroms as they're going after Vegeta. So I feel like there's a few options in Mutant Town that Casey could potentially be going up against. And then the next option, which sort of sounds a bit likely, or maybe, is the Clone Turtles. Now these turtles are brand new turtles which are made from Null, and that was sort of a big reveal from last week's one. So who knows, maybe Casey might come in contact with these characters again, or not again, may come in contact with them, have a fight, who knows, maybe get actually hurt and potentially could end up nearly dying or something like that. I feel like this fight could be a really interesting one. If they were to do this one properly, and I feel like if they were to do it, I feel like they would do it really well, and would be something which I would really like to see, but will it be likely to happen? I'll say sort of 50-50, I'd say. Okay, so for the next option, which I think Casey could potentially be going up against, is just one of the Rat King's mechanical henchmen. I don't think it'll be Baxter Stockman. I feel like he's not much of a threat. I don't think he'll really be going against Madden Null, but maybe he could go up against Zodi or the Snake. I feel like there may be a few options there, but again, I just feel as though they're probably not going to go up against Casey just because he's more of a human character. Now, I think that only really leads onto one type character left, really, because I don't think that he's too much more of an important character and like he could really kill Casey. But I do feel like the only other option left would be Leather Krang, or just Metal Krang is now calling him. If one of the two, depending when this issue comes out, and depending this one comes before a certain issue or after a certain issue, then this one could be a big oh my god moment. And I feel like seeing Leatherhead or Leather Krang go up against Casey, that would be a really cool thing to see, as we haven't really seen Leather Krang go up against too many characters. I know that for the annual 2020, we did get to see him go against Angel and Apex, so it might be fun to see him go up against Casey, and could potentially see the big threats of Leather Krang, or you know, to see how badass Casey Jones is again. But I feel like there's so many possibilities you could do with this fight and Casey Jones alone, in terms of like the monsters, that it's almost like a bit endless in terms of who he could be fighting. But I do feel as though whoever he will be fighting will just be so cool and just be amazing, just have another issue about Casey. I know there's a few other characters which I would love to see, such as Angel and Apex get their own issue, but I guess we'll have to wait and see who else is on the next Alliance issue. But yeah. Okay, so now taking a look at the covers, there isn't really too many to look at here, just because this issue was sort of released before any covers could be released. However, there were a few, or one that was released. Now this one was released way back in August for Comic Con, or June, it was around that sort of time when they had the RW panel going on. Now this one is the RI version from Matu Santaloco, and it's just Casey just looking so cool. How do you not want to buy this cover? I know this one's going to be a little bit more expensive and is the 110 variant, but with this artwork I feel like it more or less just pays for itself, and it just looks so beautiful. And I'm quite interested to see what the cover A is going to be, just because the cover I one was quite interesting, and I feel like when we do get to see the cover A for this issue, it will potentially tell us a lot about what will be happening within this issue, just because the cover A for Karai showed us that we'll be having the Turtles versus Karai. I mean, not the Turtles, but the clone Turtles. I know they did also mention it in the description for that issue that she'll be up against those ones, but you know, I feel like cover A, it will definitely, or most likely, give us more of a look of who Casey could be fighting. But I feel like either way, it's just going to be amazing. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I am quite interested to hear what you have to say about it in the comment section below. Who do you think Casey will be fighting in terms of monsters? Do you think it'll be someone from Mutant Town, for Clone Turtles, Leather Krang, or just someone entirely different that I did not think about? I am rather interested to hear what I say about it in the comment section below. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you do like something, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.